Hello everyone, welcome back to KWT's Microsoft Outlook Basics course. Today we're going to take a look at contacts within Outlook. So if you are in a corporate Exchange environment, the address books are managed by your IT group, but you can still manage your own contact list on top of that. You can right-click on an email address anywhere in an email and have it added to your contact list. Or you can go directly from the home ribbon and create a new contact in your contact list. Occasionally people will send you a contact via email, and you will be given the option within that email to add that contact to your contact list. So there are a number of ways to build up contacts within your own personal contact lists. And you can have more than one contact list if you want to break them out for various reasons. You can also create groups. Again, in a corporate environment, your address book will have distribution lists. Again, these are managed by your IT group. But within your contacts list, you can have your own groups that you manage. When you use these groups in an email, they will be prefixed with the plus sign, and this is true of your own personal groups or of distribution lists from your address book. Now, if you need something added to a distribution list on your Exchange server, you will have to reach out to your IT department. Normally, you will have to put in a ticket of some sort to get that change made to the distribution list. So let's take a look at contacts within Outlook. So we get to our contacts through our navigation. Let's go to People. And remember, we talked about views, so we can change our view setting depending on how we want to see these show up. But it doesn't matter what our view is, the creation of a new contact is the same. So I go to my Home ribbon and select New Contact. And here we see all of the general information that you can create. So we can create a new name, and you'll notice if I just type a first name, it's going to come up and ask for the full name. So we may need to fill in some details that way. We can include the title and carry on that way. You can put in the company they work for, their job title, and then, of course, you can go to email and start entering in their email address. And you can have more than one email. This is a little hidden, but you can certainly go to email number 2 and enter something else in there. So maybe Mickey has a Gmail account as well. And we can put those both in. Oops, I forgot the @ sign. It's very particular about format. It will make sure you enter it in the correct method. So now we have 2 email addresses, and you can see things showing up in the box up here. You can put a web page in, probably be disney.com, an IM address if we have it, and of course as many phone numbers as you like. Be sure to label them appropriately, especially the mobile. That's important if you want to get into texting. It needs to know which are mobile and which are not. And you will notice that it reformats the phone number into the appropriate format. And then, of course, you can enter the address. Now, when you enter the address, it's going to want you to format it correctly. And quite frankly, it never seems to get it right. So you have to kind of reformat it, and I still have to play around with Outlook a bit to figure out if I can find out how to make that a little easier. But this is the type of information you're going to want to add in. And then notes, and it may be that you want to include some notes about what your dealings are with that person. This, is about the paper order. Or they're an electrician that you use occasionally, whatever is required for you to remind yourself of why you have this person in your contact list. You can also add a picture. So you can grab an image of any kind to help you identify that person more easily. And that's the basic information. Now, there certainly is additional information, but we'll talk about that in another couple of slides. So we can save that now, and I now have Mickey Mouse down there. And when I'm in this card view, I see the image, I see all the basic detail about them. Okay, so now there are a number of other elements that we want to talk about. What we did previous was just the basics to get a contact in there. If the physical address is complete, we can make use of the Map It feature, which is a handy little thing. If you are looking to go visit somebody locally, you can actually map out their location and get yourself directions to them. Also, you will notice that the email addresses are hyperlinks, as are the web pages, so that you can click on them and directly from your contact entry, create an email to the person or jump to their website. There are many functions that can be initiated directly from within the contact list screen, and that includes sending an email, adding a calendar meeting, or assigning a task to that person. Also, if you have Universal Communications, an integrated telephone system, you will be able to initiate a phone call or a chat window directly from that contact screen. You can forward contacts to other people. Just something to keep in mind here, you can do it in two different ways, as a business card or as an Outlook contact. If you are not sure if the recipient is on Outlook, then I highly recommend sending it as a business card. It sends the file as a VCF file, which is very universal and can be opened by many email clients. Whereas if you send it as an Outlook contact, it can only truly be used by another Outlook client. There are significant other sets of fields that you can use, and we'll take a look at those shortly. But under the contact screen, you can see where there is general details, certificates, and all fields. So we'll take a look at those, and there are a number of fields that you may find useful that you were not even aware were there. You can create custom fields as well, assuming you need something that is not in the all fields list. So let's take a look at some of those features. So we're back in our contacts, and if I go back to Mr. Mickey Mouse, we can go up here and go to details, and here you'll see a significant amount of additional information. Things like spouse, because perhaps you have a close relationship with these people and you want to make sure you send a gift or a card or a note on their to them and their spouse, or an invitation to them and their spouse. You may want to include their birthday if they, you want to keep track of that and send them a birthday greeting or an anniversary. So a lot of other information here. Manager, assistant's name. Assistant's name is often very useful, especially with busy people that we deal with. Sometimes we need to reach out to their admin assistant to make those appointments with them, or their manager's name for those times when you need to escalate something with them. Department, office, profession, so lots of other information here. But that's not the end of it. If we go to all fields, we can actually see everything else that's available. The frequently used fields are the ones that you would see on the standard general screen. Address fields, so we can have separate addresses for business, home, other. Maybe we need their cottage address in case we need them in the summer. Other email and fax numbers, so we can see multiple email addresses. Miscellaneous fields, we saw some of those on the details screen. Even things like government ID number or organization ID number may be useful. We can also mark contacts as private, so that if somebody has permissions to see our contact list, they may not be able to see the private ones, so that you can keep some things confidential. All mail fields. So there are lots of fields in here that you can make use of. If you can think of something that you want to track about your contacts, run through here and see if you can find it. Even things related to appointments and tasks. Okay, so it's very comprehensive, and again, you can create new fields if you think that's something that's useful to you. Certificates is another one. If you have digital certificates associated with a specific contact, you can import them here so that you can find them easily again in the future if you need them. So we'll go back to general. Now, we did talk about the mapping feature. I'm going to enter in an address that I happen to know exists. So we can try that out. And of course it's going to, okay, maybe it'll work. So we click on map it and it should take us to a mapping feature. And it has taken us directly to that particular location. So that's great. Now I know where it is. I can zoom out a little bit to get my feeling of where I am. And then if I need to, I can do directions to here from whatever my current address is, and it will give me driving directions directly to that location. So that can be a very handy feature for finding someone. You do have to make sure that that address is filled in completely to have that work properly. And if I go to my email, contact list, and see my list of people, there are a number of things I can do directly from this list of contacts. And that can include making a call directly from here. So the phone numbers are in there. If I have an integrated phone system, I can make a call directly to them. And if I have a number of contacts I have to make calls to, this may be an efficient way to get in here and just make one call after another. So for those of you that are perhaps in sales and you want to make a whole list of calls, bring up your contact list and just initiate the phone calls this way. And you can see if there are multiple phone numbers, it lets you select which one you want to call. I can also right-click and create an email or a meeting or assign a task to that person. So again, right from my list of contacts, I can work through, and maybe I want to set up meetings with a number of people in here. We just click on that and it creates a meeting request with the person filled in. I select the date and the time and send that off to them. And I can continue to do that with each contact in the list. So there's a number of interactive pieces in here that you can make use of that makes your contact list or your list of contacts very useful to you with some tasks that you may need to do. You can also forward a contact from here, and again, you can do it as a business card or as an Outlook contact, depending on who you're sending it to. So there you go. That's some of the features of contacts within Outlook, and we will see you in the next module. That concludes this module.